Welcome to this video lecture series on transportation engineering. In this session, we shall discuss on the channelized at-grade intersections. Now, as we know that the vehicles, when they approach at an intersection, they are to be directed into a proper channel, and this can be done by the means of the islands or markings etc. on the road. And this method of the control of the traffic at the intersections is called as channelizing. At these intersections, the islands they basically are introduced in order to reduce the conflict at the area which is available for the crossings at the intersections. And these islands they are useful to channelize the running traffic in order to control the speed and their angle of approach. They provide the safety and efficiency while moving the vehicles on the roads, and it also reduces the number of the possible conflicts by actually reducing the area of the conflicts available on the carriageway. Here it should be understood that if no channelizing is being provided, then the driver has a tendency to reduce the speed at the crossings at the intersections from the carriageway, thus reducing the thus increasing the travel time. As you can see from the figure, we have an example of an intersection of the roundabout intersection. From the figure, if you observe that rather than having a straight away intersection, a circular island which is a roundabout or which can be elliptical, tangent or a turbine type, it can be provided so that the vehicles they can cross at the intersection without reducing their speed as well as causing the conflicts or accidents at the intersections. Next, we shall discuss at the grade separated intersections. Grade separated intersections they basically are a bridge which will eliminate the crossing conflicts at the intersections by the vertical separation of the roads on the space. Here, the route transfer at the grade separations is accommodated by the interchange facilities consisting of the ramps, and these interchange configurations they are designed in such a way that they will accommodate the traffic requirements of flow economically, the operations on the crossing facilities, then the physical requirements of the topography and adjoining land use type of controls, the right of way and the direction of the movements. The basic objective of this intersections is to eliminate all the grade crossing conflicts and to accommodate other intersection like the merging intersection, the diverging and the weaving at low relative speed, which we have discussed earlier. So the classification of the grade separated intersections. Here the grade separated intersections they are classified as one of the distinctions made in a type of interchange which is in between the directional and the non-directional carriageway. Second, the directional interchange, which are those which are having the ramps that tend to follow the natural direction of the movement. And third is the non-directional interchange, which requires a change in the natural path of the traffic flow. Next, we shall discuss the major interchange types. Now, as you can see from the figure, the underpass which actually is being provided in order to avoid the conflict conditions at the intersections, as the vehicles who are to travel into the one direction, they actually can pass with the help of an underpass without causing any intersection to the road or the carriageway which is at which is perpendicular to this straight pathway. Next is overpass. Now overpass is a common example that we see into the various congested cities like Pune, Mumbai or at Nasik, wherein the goods carrier vehicles or the vehicles which have no intention for their movement to come into the city area which is congested for the local traffic. Here the vehicles with the help of the overpass can pass through these congested areas of the city with ease, as it avoids the conflict of the service roads to the road on which these vehicles they are traveling. The next some examples are the Trumpet interchange, the Diamond interchange, the Cloverleaf interchange, then the partial Cloverleaf interchange, directional interchange and the bridged rotary. Next we shall discuss on the parking study. Now in a country like India, wherein with the greater density of population accumulated into the major cities, parking becomes a major problem, as the number of vehicles are more as compared to the parking space. The major objective of the parking study is first to understand the parking planning, which is an integral part of the transportation planning. Next is to know the definition of the parking terms and to learn the methodology of the parking studies. Lastly, we'll have to learn how to find out the space requirements for the parking garage or the parking area. So the general terms associated with the parking studies. First is the parking index. It is the percentage of the ratio of the number of parked vehicles to the theoretical number of bays available. That means the total area for the parking which is available. Number of vehicles, ratio of the number of vehicles, parked vehicles to the number of bays or the area which is available for the parking of these vehicles. Next, parking volume. The total number of vehicles that park in a study area during specific period of time, which is generally taken as a day, and it does not account for the repetition of the vehicles. That means number of vehicles according to the area they are specified and no repetition of the vehicles is being counted. Then the actual volume of the vehicles entered in this area, it is recorded. That means the total number of vehicles which can be parked in a area under study will be called as a parking volume. Next is the parking duration. It is the length of time a vehicle is parked at a parking bay or the parking space. Next is the parking accumulation. The total number of vehicles parked in an area at a specified moment, it is called as a parking accumulation. Next, the parking load. The parking load will give us the area under the accumulation curve, and it can be obtained by simply multiplying the number of vehicles occupying the parking area at each time interval with the time interval. That is expressed as the vehicle hours. It can be understood easily as the number of vehicles parked in an hour into a parking bay or a parking space, and a graph which will be drawn corresponding to this number of vehicles per hour to the time. Next is the parking turnover. It is the ratio of the number of vehicles parked in a duration to the number of parked bays available, and this can be expressed as number of vehicles per bay per time duration. That means the number of the ratio in between the number of bays or the space available for the parking of the car to the time. Next, the type of parking facilities. First is the on-street parking facilities, and second is the off-street parking facilities. Now, first on the on-street parking facilities, which is also known as the curb facilities, wherein the parking bays are provided along the side curb or on the both sides of the street, and this is the most common type of a parking facility which is used in India, which is unrestricted, it is unlimited and free, and it is limited to the specific times for the maximum duration. In cases, it may be or may not be free. Handicap parking can be provided. Bus stops, they can be provided along the sides of the street with the loading bays. Now, the different types for this parking are: first is the parallel parking. Parallel parking is the type of parking in which the vehicles they are parked along the length of the road. Here there is no any backward movement which is provided. Hence, it is the most safest parking from the accident perspective. As we can see from the figure, that the vehicles they are provided alongside of the road and they are provided parallel to the alignment of the road. Hence, there is no need in order to turn the vehicle backwards while the vehicle has to come onto the main lane for its movement. Second method is the 30-degree parking. As you can see from the figure, the vehicles they are parked at an angle of 30 degree to the alignment of the road. Here, more number of cars can be parked as compared to the parallel parking system, and there is an ease for the vehicles to move onto the road. Next type is the 45-degree parking. 45-degree parking, as we can see from the figure, allows more number of vehicles to be parked as compared to the parallel parking and 30-degree parkings. Next is the 60-degree parkings. Again, as compared to the parallel parking, 45-degree parking and 30-degree parking, 60-degree parking provides greater number of vehicles to be parked on the given parking area. Here, the vehicles they have to be driven backwards in order to move them back onto the lane for its movement. And lastly is the 90-degree parking. 90-degree parking is a specialized area which is allocated for the parking of the vehicles, and the vehicles they are parked at an angle of 90 degree to the alignment of the road. Maximum number of vehicles can be parked in this 90-degree parking as compared to the other methods on the same area. The next type is the off-street parking facilities, which is majorly provided into the urban centers or the urban cities. And here, certain area is exclusively allotted for the parking, which will be at a certain distance away from the main street road or the main street traffic area. And such parking is preferred to as the off-street parking. They will be operated by the public agencies or the private firms. The typical layout of this off-street parking can be seen from the figure. The types of the off-street parking are: first is the surface car parks, second is the multi-storied car parks, third is the roof parks, fourth the mechanical parks, and fifth is the underground car parks. Now, as you can see from the figure, the first is the surface car parking, where a specific area is allocated for the parking of the cars and which is regulated or controlled by the private agencies or by certain government agencies. Second is the multi-story car parking, wherein the cars they are parked on the multi-story parking area, as you can see from the figure. It allows the maximum numbers of cars to be parked on the same area as compared to the other methods of the off-street car parking method. Third is the roof car parking. Here, on the roof car parking method, the cars can be parked on the roof of the area. Maybe an example, just like the shopping malls, cinema halls, etc., wherein the parking area can be made available on the top of this business centers or shopping malls, etc. Next is the mechanical parking. Mechanical parking basically is a type of parking which resembles somewhat just like to a lift, wherein this traffic area is provided to each and every vehicle just like a lift, wherein the car, it can be parked into the specific floor, and it can be elevated upwards, and as the user, he requires his car back, once he presses the button to the token which is allotted to him for his respective car, then the car along with the lift comes down to the ground so that he can take his car and move on to his lane. The last type is the underground parking, which is the most common in India, wherein the business centers, the corporate offices, the shopping malls, etc., they use as the ground floor or the underground floor as a parking of the vehicles visiting these spaces. With this, we shall stop. Thank you.